Welcome to Scofield Farm. I'm Carice and we live in Northern California, Zone 9B, where we garden and grow food year round. We have chickens, bees, 7 kids, a golden doodle dog who's almost 3. In fact, I think by the time you see this video, he will be 3, which is crazy how time goes by. Today, I want to share with you just a little bit of an update about me and my family and show you my husband and I walking through the garden. And I have not been in the garden a lot this summer, and I kind of want to share why and kind of where we're at and what is going on. So I had decided at the start of the summer I would be taking kind of a space between social media, even on YouTube. I wanted to keep posting, but I wanted to be very intentional about my time in person with my family. If you've been around a while, you know that my oldest son is about to transfer to university. He finished his AA locally at a junior college, community college, 4 minutes from our house. So it has been such a treasure to have him at home for those 2 years and to be able to still have him be an active part of our family. As kids become adults, they are gone more. They're busy, they have jobs, they have school, they have lives. But he has been local, he has had a room at our house. So that has been like a really special time for me because I wasn't sure that would happen. I moved to school as soon as I turned 18. I went down to Southern California, 600 miles away from my family. I was the oldest child, so I was going into the great unknown with no idea what it was going to be like, no one who had blazed a trail before me. And, I did okay. There were bumps along the way. It was definitely had some hard parts, but I grew so much in those 4 years. And ironically, I ended back in the same area I grew up, even though when I embarked out to go to school, I didn't think that I would end up back in this community. I just didn't think so, but it's so interesting how life sometimes turns out different than we initially think when we're young. Well, since I knew my son would be moving, I really wanted to be purposeful about family time and spending time purposely with him, with my other kids. As a parent, sometimes it feels like you're trying to catch the sands of time as they go through that time glass, and it is a futile effort because you can't stop time. Even beautiful moments, you can remember them, but you can't freeze them forever. And so I wanted to be present. I know that it goes so fast. Guys, if you have small kids, it goes so fast. Our youngest is 7. I remember when our oldest was 7, and it just feels like a blink. It feels like a blink. And here he is about to embark on his own adventures, moving 600 miles away to go to school in Southern California, which is actually really close to the school that I went to, a different school, but very close location. And so, our family life is going to change. We're obviously going to stay close to him, but it's so weird. I remember when I went to school and I came home to visit for the first time, it was almost surreal that my home life had kind of kept going on without me. My friends back home had lived lives while I was gone. And of course, I lived life too. But it was this most surreal feeling to feel like, wow, life kept going. And even home doesn't feel quite the same as it did when I was living here. And so I know life changes and ebbs and flows and becomes absolutely beautiful. But a part of me as a mom is grieving that change, that all of my kids may not ever live under the same roof again. That's huge. I feel like no one really warned you about that. Maybe they do, but not loud enough, right? You're in the throes of newborn stages and then toddlers, and then they're growing into school age, and then you're teaching them to drive suddenly, but no one really warns you about the stage of parenting when your kids fly from the nest and how impactful it is. And so I just wanted to be still. I've wanted to be in the moment, be with my family, and I don't regret it at all. I know views have gone down here, and I haven't abandoned. I'm here, I'm around, but being able to take this time to be purposefully present. We drive him down to school next Wednesday. In fact, by the time you see this video, we may already be down there. and it goes so fast and it's so precious. So I want to show you some of my garden, some of how things are looking, but with the realization that not only have I not been on here a whole lot, I have not been able to be as present in my garden as I would like to be. I've shared in a few videos in the past, if you're new here, you know, that I had chickens dig up my pollinator garden. I didn't realize it. We went out the country to see my husband's parents in Guatemala, which was such a great family time, a well-needed trip. We hadn't been there in a decade. My husband grew up there, hadn't been there in a decade, and the time before that was a full decade before that. So it was so good for him to bring his kids down and to spend time with his parents. But my chickens, who free range, and we had someone watching them, didn't realize that they tore up my pollinator garden and dislodged all the sprinkler heads. And it's just, those things happen. When a gardener's not present in their garden, things happen. You don't catch it. And we had a water automatic drip to some of our citrus trees break, and we didn't know because it's on a timer and we had been gone a lot. So I lost at least one of my citrus trees to the extreme heat here. It gets to 115. It was 115 while we were gone in Guatemala, and I don't know how long that break had been. So those things happen. My garden, my vegetable garden, is so overgrown and wild and crazy, and it is beautiful, but there's a lot I would do in it if I was around. And also I've had back issues. After I had a shoulder surgery in January, my back actually had a really hard time with the transition, and I even am going to physical therapy now for my back. So I have not been physically able to be as active in my garden as the past. We have grown food for 15 years. We have grown flowers and herbs longer than that, about 20 years. So this is definitely a different year for me. Things are still growing, maybe not exactly the way I would have them, but they're growing and they're doing good. And I am growing as a human, and I'm learning more to let go of my ideals, to let go of what I think things should look like, and to actually be present and enjoy the way things actually are. And I think that's an invaluable lesson. I feel like the gardener is always a student of the garden, and God speaks to me so much through growing things, how to let go, how to surrender control, and yet be diligent to do what I can, you know, with what's at hand in front of me. I want to show you how my citrus looks right now, just because so many of you joined our channel because of citrus videos, and they're doing pretty good for the most part, besides the ones that lost water. But we do have a lot of fruit to anticipate for the winter, and I haven't taken a lot of time to check it, so come check that out with me. Right here, I have a bunch of citrus in the front of our home in pots, which I think is a wonderful way to grow citrus. I can actually link to a video where I talk a lot about that. But right here we have quite a few. I believe this might be my lime tree. I'm trying to remember which one this is. I think this is my bare lime tree. So you can see there's a decent amount of fruit. We never had success with limes in the ground. Our microclimate gets just a tiny bit too cold, and we would lose them in a late frost after everything had the juices running through it. So limes in a pot has been the way to go for me. Over here I have my Tangelo, which you can see several Tangelos on it. These are so good. They are like a cross tangerine, and I believe it was a type of grapefruit, but I love that tangerine tart, juicy, sweet, perfect balance, and that's what I feel like this one is. Only about half a dozen fruit, but I'm looking forward to them. This tree, I don't think has any fruit on it, and I'm going to tell you why. We have had deer in our yard. I've seen several fawns, and look, little Bambis have not only eaten a lot of the leaves off my tree, but the places that had fruit, either they ate them off or knocked them off. This happened last year with my lemon tree. I still got a lot of lemons, but I had so many leaves missing from deer. And these are not protected. They're out in front. The deer can get them. We live out in the country. We live technically what you call like county area. And so, you know, that happens. This is another Valencia orange. I'm trying to see if I have, oh, I I think I maybe just have one on that tree. So it's all right. They're gonna grow, they're gonna mature. Every year we'll get a little bit more. This is my lemon tree, Meyer lemon, and they kind of blend in because they're green, but we actually have quite a few on this tree. So I'm looking forward to that. And the branches that were completely eaten of leaves, they're all leafed out and doing just fine. A brand new, let's see, this is a type of mandarin. It's called a kishu. And that one has no fruit, but I expect it. I haven't even got to put it in a bigger pot yet. This is one of our mandarins. Oh goodness, I'm trying to remember which one this was. But it's packed and it's an older one. You can even tell by how thick the bottom is, and this black noodle kind of foam thing. I have a video talking about how I use that for the winter to protect my trees, but I just left it on for the summer. It kind of protects from the sun here too. This one, what is this one? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I have the tag here still. Oh, this is a tanjo. Tanjos are so good too. These are delicious, and it has actually more fruit on it than I thought there would be. So we're gonna have some of that this year. I think I only got one of those, maybe two last year. And here's a grapefruit, which is way too big, honestly, to be in a pot because they get very heavy, but they are so delicious. We got quite a few last year, even more this year. I'm thinking like eventually to get this one maybe somewhere in the ground. Once it's bigger, I think it's gonna do okay because it gets heavy. So as you can see, the front citrus is doing pretty well. It's honestly, because we've even put it on drip, it's pretty low maintenance. I should be feeding it more than I did. I even have a video on feeding your citrus like once a month for most of the months besides the really brutal heat. But as I said, my back, my shoulder, my time with my son, a lot of things have gotten away from me that I am not the ideal gardener that I want to be. That's okay. It's still mostly growing food. So maybe that can encourage someone, even if you can't get it done the way that you think you ought, food can still grow and you can still have a harvest. So showing you the in-ground citrus, you know, a lot of them are growing. I don't know if very many of them have fruit, and a lot of that is because when the water got cut to them from the water line break, the first thing they'll do is drop fruit to preserve themselves. Oh look, there are some on this tree. So a few of them have fruit. A lot of them are young and they're doing okay. Let me show you the one that is not doing okay. This one plant-wise is doing great. I actually don't know if I see any fruit on it, and it was near the end of the water line by the break. But this one over here, so sad. That lack of water really, really hurt it. So we will have to replace this tree, and that's what happens when you're not out here. If I'm not out here, how can I know? So just have to accept things and move on, and, you know, make peace with the fact that there are things doing great and there are things that have to be replaced and fixed. Some of the pollinator garden is bouncing back from cutting it back. There's some beautiful hollyhocks right there, and this poor blueberry bush that didn't get water has a little bit of green, just a tiny bit. So I will cut that back pretty hardcore to get it, you know, hopefully to overwinter. Over here, we cut a lot of this back. I think a lot of this damage to my butterfly bush was part the grasshopper issue we had, but also the water issue. But we do have some blooming again, so that's good. I think we need to do a little bit more trimming of dead heads, and maybe it will give us a little bit more. Yeah, there's a lot of possible hope, even though it is not as vibrant and pretty as last year. All is not lost. So we're gonna go out and check our garden. I haven't been out there for a bit. I haven't been out there since I made the garden tour. So you're gonna see while I see what things look like, cause the back. This is good news. I stuck a sweet potato with some slips coming off just in this pot, and that one is doing good. This is like in our back patio area. Definitely see chickens have gotten here, but we do have a little bit of ginger, and I think that's a type of leeks growing. Oh, a queen lime red zinnia. Those are always so pretty. My dahlia is not blooming, and there's just a lot of digging by chickens, so we're gonna have to smooth that back out. Well, it is wild. cosmos are so pretty. I have to show you this. These cosmos are taller than any cosmos I have ever had. I have never had them be, what is that? Like more than 6 feet tall, I think. They were laying down, so we are going to tie them up. I don't know what to think. My tomato plants, they are very unruly and they're not tied up, and some of them are breaking. I need to fix this. They're, you know, kind of growing back up, but some of the stems are actually breaking kind of in half, like perforated bends they don't recover from. That's pretty. That's super pretty, all the zinnias. They're kind of hard to walk by, but they're pretty. Oh my. There's so much I wish I could do in here, and I can't. I just can't do it because of my body. Oh, some of that's dying in there. And see how bent it is? I don't know if it's gonna break it with that weight. I might harvest that one that's barely turning colors because we've had critters stealing things. This has gotten so wild. I mean, yeah, it's biting, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to somehow get those up, and I can't really move with my back. And these are just so crazy. Oh my goodness. Wow. Still flowers there. Yeah, that one came from the other side, which is good. Maybe you can like encourage it back up. We have a little pumpkin. That's happy. At least we have this. At least we have this and all this craziness going on here.
Little tiny one.
Oh my gosh, this is honestly overwhelming to me. This one needs to kind of be next to a pumpkin there. It needs to be like on the trellis, or it's not good. Someone needs to cut back calendula too. Look at all of those. They're gonna all be volunteers like crazy. Right here, that's funny. I think this is some sort of bok choy maybe, and then dill. Those are volunteers, but the sweet potatoes we had covered are actually making it, which I'm thankful for that. I definitely need to harvest potatoes, and oh, these are pretty. Sunflowers are always happiness. Always, always, always happiness. Yeah, some of this stuff is dying, maybe diseased. Oh my, that's like laying on its side. But anyway, yeah, physical issues can really affect a garden. So my daughter is gonna help me since I am trying to be good and obey my physical therapy things. She's going to cut tons of Tulsi basil. It's huge and beautiful.
Look, there's all this right here.
And I love this for my tea. Yeah, just go down. As long as you can find something that's like an elbow that has little ones, you can go as far back as you want. There just has to be little ones growing, little leaves. Cosmos next to her is really pretty. So even in the wild, there's beautiful. I always say that, but it's very wild. It's very overwhelming, but that is beautiful. She is harvesting cherry tomatoes for me so that I don't lean and reach like she is. That's one movement I'm not supposed to make right now. It makes gardening really hard to not be able to lean in and harvest tomatoes. Yeah. It's like the cherry tomato bed became only cherry tomatoes. Everything else is buried. My honest thoughts. I have my husband tying up tomatoes. I am walking in paths that are hilly from gophers and very weedy. I'm looking at beds that the tomatoes are like laying down across the whole bed. One daughter is harvesting cherry tomatoes, the other is harvesting a ton of Tulsi basil, which is my favorite tea, so that's a really good harvest. I see bees active. I'm looking around. That's always good to see because we keep bees, and because my back, I've not been able to work my bees that much. So I'm glad that they're still surviving and have stuff to pollinate and get nectar and pollen from, but I'm overwhelmed. It's like one of those years. I'm It's like so overgrown, and it's only the start of August. We probably will have things grow until mid-November, maybe late. It is like, if I could, I would do a huge pruning of this garden. Like, it is. I'm just looking around. It's so unruly in here. It's so unruly. There's quite a few of our Brad's Atomic Grape ready. Quite a few. There's actually, I think, some that are lower even on the other side. This celosia. I should make a cool arrangement bouquet with that. We even have some lettuce coming back. Didn't mean for that, but I will take it. That's good. It'll be in the shade of these eggplant. Yeah, that's fun. We have onions I forgot to harvest coming back. Yep. This celery decided to bolt and bloom. We're just gonna go with it. I thought that it was a new one, but it might be one that I planted last year. I think they last longer than that. At least they have for me in the past. Yeah, we gotta push all these tomatoes back. We do have some squash ready. This is a really nice looking one. So pretty. Zucchini right there. Right there. Yeah. This one's really hard to check. I'll have to have one of my family because I can't like bend down and get in that massive stuff. It was supposed to go up that tomato cage. Did not happen this time. What are you doing right now? What are you doing? Do you find very many? You should get me a really ripe one. I would love that. So, as I've said, this is a different year. I've been trying to get my son ready to move, spend time with him. We have gone on a couple trips, which has been great. If I can get this cucumber vine up without hurting myself, I don't know. I really hope I don't regret this later. But ooh, that one. Hold on one second.
Cutting cucumbers?
Oh yeah, if you can reach them, yeah, please. Look at this. This is a good one. It is really good. So this year we are still getting food. Please, and there's a yellow one and a zucchini over there too.
Yeah, that's what
She said she could help her. It's a different year. It is. I wish I was like in there going for it. I feel like even the motivation to just chop so many things back far, and I can't. And I'm hoping I don't regret that I just like wound up some of those pickling cucumbers, because kind of had to lean a little bit to do that, just to pick them up. I guess my takeaway right now is there are different seasons. Years are different. I'm sure a lot of you have had times or will have times where you have physical limitations. Oh, I should show you this bumblebee. This bumblebee, let's see if we can get it. Ooh, it's going all over the place. Hello, hello little friend. That's fun. So, self-control. I'm not going to prune. I'm not going to harvest. I want to. I'm looking to see, there's definitely like some good stuff going on here in the midst of the messy and crazy. But I feel like it kind of needs to be dialed in because it's too messy and crazy, and it affects it a lot, and it affects my stress level about the garden. But physical therapy. I'm going to physical therapy. I'm hoping it helps me really get out here and get my hands in the dirt like I want to be able to crouch down and lean forward and harvest things and pick things and prune things. As I said before, a lot of you probably either have or will have physical challenges. Let me show you. Look at that. She did it. That's Tulsi basil for the win. So as I said, we still have the things we're harvesting. Things are going well, but things are crazy. And you can still grow a garden even with physical limitations. It's harder. You might need help. Things might be lost because pests and stuff, disease can happen more, you know, when you're not like keeping up on things. I'm like seriously looking at all these vines that they're kind of doing their own thing. I want them to go up, Oh, look at this. Look at this right here. Can you see that? Yay, Turbocino squash. They're even kind of, sort of changing color. They're up there. Whew. They're kind of changing color there. That's fun. I mean, I really like that. There are a lot of bees in here. Bumblebees, carpenter bees, my honeybees. Did you find it? And it's sleeping. Oh my word, that's cute. How cute.
You should take a picture of it.
We should. Right here, we have a bee on my pepper flowers, pollinating them. That's fun.
No.
Oh my gosh, so much. He is getting lemon cucumbers that are lost in this mess of vines that instead of going up, they're like really bunchy. They're really crazy. But there are definitely lemon cucumbers in there. What'd you get?
They're jalapenos.
Good, let's go get them. I'll come watch you. Okay, so you're gonna get in this beautiful, crazy bed. There's tons of peppers in
Here's what I
here.
found.
Oh, and this shouldn't be going this way, honey.
I see another beetle.
Here, how about you go over to the other side and weave this up through, like pull it through carefully, one of those places. Pull it up as far as you can. Then put it through another one, like up through the top. Yeah, very good. That way it will go up instead of through our peppers and choke them out. Yes, that's Lupa. We do have some pretty peppers down here. Lots and lots of peppers in here, and I really need a good harvest. Oh, more pumpkin trying to get across the bed. So thanks for joining me. If you like our content, if you like real life where sometimes things aren't perfect, you can like this video, you can subscribe. I will do more videos. We do have some cool peppers. I'm running out of room on my phone, another real life thing, so I'm gonna have to free up space to do more videos. But I will see you soon. We will be back out here. My back is gonna get better. My shoulder's doing so much better. We're gonna successfully move my son and we will survive. We will miss him, but we're gonna keep doing things on this homestead and keep plugging away at life and being thankful. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.